Alright, next up is Jing Yuan. I have no idea what this one does.
This one's terrible. It's so bad.
Each hit performed by the Lightning Lord when it takes action will make the target enemy vulnerable. While vulnerable, enemies receive 12% more damage until the end of the Lightning Lord's current turn.
First of all, it only stacks up to 3 times.
That
Second of all,
sucks!
it's each hit, so unless you're in single target, it's terrible.
That
And,
sucks so much!
Outside of single target, this is horrendous, and even in single target, it's not that significant of a damage increase.
That's so bad!
This is so bad. Yeah,
Oh.
it's D tier, honestly. Like, I don't even think it makes it into C.
Oh.
Like, it's horrendous.
I'm really trying to think, is there any argument for C?
No,
Like-
I don't think so. I mean, like,
I'm really trying, and I can't think of anything. I'm so sorry, Jing Yuan. That is so bad.
yeah, if instead of pulling E6 Jing Yuan, just pull a Sunday. If you really want to use them that badly.
Just get a good Sunday, and
Yeah.
there you go. I actually don't know what
So-
E6 Sunday does, so I'm excited to see that one.
E6 Sunday is
I-
not the best, not the worst. It's
I think I remember what E6 Jingliu was. Yep. When Jingliu enters the spectral transmigration state, yeah, Jesus. The syzygy stack limit increases by 1, and Jingliu obtains 1 stack. While she is in this state, her crit damage increases by 50%. It helps her core mechanic and does improve it.
she still has issues,
Oh, immensely, but
but like it just kind of fixes her rotations. I think this could be very good if she receives good buffs, but
I'm
at the
really
moment,
looking forward to that.
and it gets just slightly better than Blades.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
agree. I was gonna say, it sure as hell was now making it to A, but it's way better than anything in C.
Now we get the other
Now-
DOT character, who's
Oh,
Just
let's
as bad.
see. How sad
Just
am
as
I
bad.
about to be today? Alright, Kafka. The damage multiplier for shock damage dealt by ultimate technique or the follow-up attack triggered by talent increases by 156% and extends the duration of shock on the enemy target by 1.
I think she goes right next to Black Swan.
Yep.
Like,
Are we feeling above or below?
I think above.
I think above.
But like, on release, it was good because at the time Kafka was detonating her own DOT,
Yep.
and primarily, she was it was essentially hyper carry DOT. Nowadays, any functional DOT team is either Black Swan or Jiacho
Yep.
at E2, and E2 Jiacho is actually better than E6 Black Swan. So
Well, we
Yeah,
saw what
that's
E6
the whole
Black
thing.
Swan does. That shit's ass.
yeah,
Yeah, that Kafka Eidolon is very bad.
yeah.
Alright, so you brought this up I think it was earlier today while we were talking. Lingsha. While Fu Yuan is on the field, it reduces all enemies all-type res by 20%. While Fu Yuan attacks, additionally deals 4 instances of damage, with each instance dealing both fire damage equal to 50% of Lingsha's attack, and a toughness reduction of 5 to a single random enemy. That is very good.
Yeah, it's an S, I think. It increases everything she does.
And then when you look,
it's just like,
and then like look at the Eidolons to get there as well.
yeah,
The Eidolons to get there are also very, very good to make this even better, essentially. That's the thing, because it doesn't fundamentally change the character, but it gives the character another avenue to be helpful. That's very easily S. I think this is
below face shadows. It doesn't fix anything
Yeah.
because she doesn't really have that many problems. Like,
I need to keep remembering
I think
how
her-
insane that damage
Yeah.
boost was.
yeah.
Actually,
The
astronomical.
the only thing wrong with Lingsha is that she isn't perfect sustained comfort.
So, for
We just
Luocha,
saw this.
when ultimate is used, there is a 100% fixed chance to reduce all enemies all type res by 20% for 2 turns. Oh,
We
it has
just
a
saw
limit.
this, but
It's only
better.
for 2 turns?
We just saw this, but better. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. I mean, okay, well, it's still good. It's just
It's A. It's definitely A, I think.
that
I mean,
2 turns is really souring me right now. That's really sad.
It makes him not a terrible support.
I was about to say, because to be fair, Luocha doesn't have many problems to begin with. He's a very stable support. And it's
He
like,
has
this
no
is
sustain
helpful.
issues, yeah. But he doesn't do anything for your teams.
No,
Like,
he's just
his
there to
biggest
keep you
issue
alive.
is that he exists, and he exists in the same world as Huohuo, as Lingsha, as Aventurine, as Fushuan.
Who all
and,
offer
like,
much more than just
yeah,
healing. I don't know. Is this A? Because it's also
I
like,
think it is, because it fixes a large portion of like what's wrong with him, which is that he doesn't offer much for your team outside of sustain. It does do that.
that's fair. Because it's
and
like,
it is a pretty noticeable damage increase for your DPS
yeah.
as well. And it also
yeah.
allows him to deal noticeable damage on his own as well.
Because all these
multipliers
DPSs
aren't that
increasing, all these DPSs increasing their res pen, that's good for them. Whereas if you have him with like one of them, then it does add on to. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
All right, here we go. Mighty.
this one's going in S.
This one is very good. When entering
Yeah.
battle, immediately enters the Vendetta state and lowers the charge required for Godslayer Be God to 100 points instead of 150.
It essentially gives him a 0 AV turn,
Yep.
which is effectively, it doesn't change. It fixes the fact that your speed tuning can be messed up by if enemies hit him and put him in Vendetta before his first turn. It can kind of mess with your speed tuning with Sunday, but this means that your speed tuning will always be the exact same no matter what. So it not only fixes that, which is honestly pretty minor but still helpful, but it also makes it so much easier to get his ult.
I was
And
about
it
to
makes
say,
it so it's a lot less likely that he overcaps as well.
But
That's
it all-
another noticeable
but at the end of the day, it also just, it gets him into the best form of himself even faster, and it makes him get
Yeah.
his strongest attack even faster. I don't...
It works so well, though, I think only because the other Eidolons.
Yeah, that's the
Just
thing is
help
that
amp
if
him.
we are taking a look at it as an individual E6,
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's quite S,
check 5 target.
but it is
you'll
really
notice.
good. Oh, I forgot 5 target. That's cooked.
Yeah,
That is cooked.
yeah.
I'm honestly not sure if it's... I'm not sure if that one specifically is S. It is really good, though. Like, it's objectively so good.
At that point, the only thing is, like, what more could he want? Like, it improves his base kit, which is, like... Because he's really reliant on buffers anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So, like... And self-buffs aren't that helpful at the end of the day, because they don't actually improve a unit's longevity. They, in fact, can lower it sometimes. But, like, for example, Jingliu, because her entire kit is just self-buffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting about Mighty specifically is just, like, a lot of the stuff you would see in other E6s come earlier in his Eidolons. So, like,
That's
increased
true.
damage multiplier for Godslayer Be God by 30 is E1. E2, you get to ignore 15% of enemy target defense, and you get additional charge for E2. E3,
Yeah.
I mean, or E4,
If
I
we
mean.
were ranking
not bad.
his E1 would be at the same level as Boo Hills, honestly.
E1
but
is
I think-
very good.
It's one of the best Eidolons in the game. Yeah, it's absurd. I feel like it's S, but I don't feel like it's better than... I feel like it's right around Fei Xiao's level, honestly.
Again, it's hard to not try and take those other ones into consideration, because, like, those combined with the E6 are what make him, like, terrifying, but...
Yeah, I think it's really good because it compounds on the other Eidolons.
Exactly.
Like, it's really hard to get a good picture, though, of how good this is.
Honestly,
Seeing as there's nowhere that even, like, if you even just E2, there's nowhere he struggles. Yeah, he's interesting. It's...
I wish I could put
something.
it, like, in between characters, but yeah, this'll do for now. I don't know how to feel about this, because it is objectively so good, and combined with those other Eidolons, it's just incredible.
Yeah,
But if we're trying to not
until-
consider other
yeah.
Eidolons, it becomes a bit weirder. I think this is fine for now. I'm gonna put him in his own tier.
Until Endgame actually starts becoming difficult for him,
Mhm.
it's very hard to gauge how much of a difference it is.
How much value that'll
seeing
actually
as,
be.
Yeah,
So let's move on to Rappa. When battle starts, Rappa gains 5 points of her talent's charge, whose upper limit is 5 points. After launching the third hit of... I'm not even going to try and say that. That's too much work. Gains an additional 5 points of charge.
This one's kind of insane. It's definitely better than Fireflies.
So then, once again, just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. The talent is what you want to look at.
The way her talent works, each time the enemy target is weakness broken, Rappa gains 1 point of charge, and that can be a weakness break from anyone on the team. It doesn't have to be her.
Yep.
But it's up to a maximum of 10 points of charge. And so whenever Rappa next launches the third hit of her enhanced basic, it additionally deals break damage, and that's additionally equal to 60% of Rappa's imaginary break damage to all enemies. So that's why she gets the full AoE hit at the end of her enhanced basic. But that damage also ignores weakness type to reduce. It reduces 2 extra toughness, and it consumes all of the charge. But each point of charge that you consume increases the break damage multiplier for it by 50%, and that's additive.
Yep. And that's
so,
the thing, is that now this is giving you more charge to start
ceiling
with.
Skyrocket.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you want to check her, what's it called? Her
calculations.
It's pretty big.
That's
it's
cooked.
Big.
That's amazing.
Big damage.
That is incredible, dude. Yeah.
That's in 3 target. That's not even 5 target.
Yep. Yep. They just really like break characters, clearly. That is a very good E6. It gives Rappa everything she wants, and gives her an insane damage multiplier on top of it.
I still don't think it's S, honestly. I think it's above Firefly, though.
It could be S, but I'm fine with top of A. Either way, that is really good, though. That is very impactful.
Yeah, it really completes her as a character.
Alright, so Robin, and this one was also a bit interesting.
This is gonna be spicy.
While the Concerto state is active, the crit damage of the additional physical damage caused by the ultimate increases by 450%. The effect of this Eidolon can trigger up to 8 times, and it will reset when the ultimate is used again.
Yeah, it effectively triples her... Actually, no, it quadruples her additional damage.
I was gonna say, I can go highlight it up here in the ult. So crit damage is usually set at 150. Okay. So it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's just, it looks way better than it actually is. I think it's middle of A tier, right around Fugues.
This is another one of those cases where it's like, your best value Eidolons are just going to be the ones at the start.
Yeah, her E1, her E2 are...
incredible. And it's like, the E6 is helpful objectively. 8 times!
Feel like if you're going above E2... Yeah, there's no reason to go above E2.
Yeah, no. Like, 8 times, it's not bad. That's also not amazing, and it's like, here's the thing, is that if you can already get the E2, that's really all you need, because then you can go spend, like, you could go get other Eidolons for other characters to improve their base damage just to begin with.
Yeah.
When you're already getting so much from Robin, it's just, it's not as worth it, I feel. It's still really good, though, in a vacuum.
I think, it's right around Fugues level.
I agree with that. Next up is Ruan Mei.
I think this one is probably going in the exact same place, honestly.
So, extends the duration of the ultimate's field by 1 turn. That itself is already very good. The talent's break damage multiplier additionally increases by 200%.
Yeah.
If you don't know what Ruan Mei's talent is, when allies break an enemy target's weakness, Ruan Mei deals to this enemy target break damage equal to 120% of her ice break damage.
Yeah, that's a very, very large increase.
And getting your ult for 3 turns now instead of 2?
Yeah, I think it's
That's incredible. That's so good.
It's right around Robin and Fugues level.
I agree.
Honestly.
Now the question is,
don't know
do we think it's
where to
more
put it in
valuable?
There. I think it's below than... I'd put it below Fugues, honestly.
Yeah, okay, I agree with that.
Like, yeah.
No, I agree with that. Again, definitely still very good though. That multiplier and getting the more ult is always going to be helpful. All right, let's see how much this one depresses me. All right, so Seele,
very, very sad.
Another early character. Seele's E6. Holy shit, that's a lot.
That's a lot of words.
After Seele uses her
Especially for-
ultimate, inflict
yeah.
the target enemy with Butterfly Flurry for 1 turn. Enemies suffering from Butterfly Flurry will take additional quantum damage equal to 15% of Seele's ultimate damage every time they are attacked. If the target enemy is defeated by the Butterfly Flurry damage triggered by other allies' attacks, Seele's talent will not be triggered.
This is... Okay, if she was a follow-up attack character, it would be amazing.
But she's not!
But she's not. Yeah,
This
seems made with Ranya's E4 in mind in 1.0, but like in practice, even just it turns her into effectively a mini Robin, but with no uptime whatsoever.
No, literally none at all.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think it's insane to say this really is not that helpful.
yeah, especially because her ultimate damage in this day and age is not that big.
Inconsequential in a lot of cases.
Yeah, I think it's C. Honestly.
Thank you. Okay, cool. I thought I was gonna
Yeah.
have to fight for C. I do not think it's very good.
Yeah, it's
Still better than Kafka's, though.
it's funny because it's like probably the longest thing that you'll read from 1.0, but yeah,
Now, roughly where do we think it is?
I think it's below Whole Holes.
Okay,
Yeah,
I agree with that. That's it, because it's definitely better than the shitstorm down here, but it's not, yeah, it's not great either. Next up is Silverwolf.
Okay, this one is literally just gonna go right above Avon.
For every debuff the target
Yeah.
enemy has, the damage dealt by Silverwolf increases by 20 up to Why?
It's literally, it's just, yeah, it can
It's
go
the
right above
same
Avon because it's got
shit!
better uptime than Avon, but that's it.
Oh my
Yeah.
fucking whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
we're not discussing that one any further. That's whatever, man. All
Are
right.
you sure you don't want to play Crit Wolf?
I'm
you
so
sure?
good, actually. That's wild. All right, E6 Sparkle. Oh,
So
I remember
amazing.
reading this. The crit damage boost effect provided by the skill additionally increases by an amount equal to 30% of Sparkle's crit damage. When Sparkle uses skill, her skill's crit damage boost effect will apply to all allies with Cypher. Wow. And then when Sparkle uses her ultimate, any single ally who benefits from her skill's crit damage boost will spread that effect to allies with Cypher.
She effectively her skill effectively becomes full AoE.
Yep.
If you except it doesn't have the additional action advance. It's just you still action advance one unit, but like really good, really good.
It's just a
Yeah.
really good flat boost again.
Yeah, I think it fundamentally changes her kit so much. I think you can't put it anywhere but S. The issue is where in S.
Because that's the thing, like, it now brings her closer to a Robin level, because now she has an AoE style boost.
I think E6 Sparkle is vastly better than E6 Robin.
Again, if we're
because-
comparing those two pound for pound, then
Yeah.
absolutely. Again, that E6 was not as impressive.
not only does it almost double how much crit damage she gives,
Yep.
but it actually makes her SIG not terrible, because she effectively turns every unit on your team into a DPS with that much crit damage.
Exactly.
Like-
And that's not, and again, it's like, without even taking into consideration the other Eidolons, because that E2 is pretty good.
E2 is amazing.
E2 is
Yeah.
very, very good.
E4 is not.
It exists.
It's fine. It exists.
It exists.
So. Yay, you get 8 skill points.
I'm trying to think of where
I think
this
it goes
should
above
go.
Bronya's. Bronya's fixes an issue with her, but it doesn't expand her kit.
Whereas Sparkle straight
To-
up improves and expands what she's capable of.
Yeah, Sparkle at E6 is a completely different unit than
That is a
everything else we
demon.
have in the game. It's, yeah. There's nothing else in the game that can really do what she does, honestly.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, I think, because it is genuinely such
Yeah.
an impressive boost to what she's capable of.
It'd be like 4 or 5 Tribbie cones just on
All in
nobody,
one.
just giving crit damage boost.
Alright, so Sunday's E6. The talent's crit rate boost effect becomes stackable up to 3 times. Damn. And the talent's duration increases by 1 turn. When Sunday uses ultimate, can also apply the talent's crit rate boost effect to the target. When the talent's crit rate boost takes effect and the target's crit rate exceeds 100%, every 1% of excess crit rate increases crit damage by 2.
It makes him a funny little guy. that makes it so you can't overcap on crit rate.
This is...
He's
It's like...
just a funny
I
little
think
guy.
this is
Yeah.
like... It's pretty cool.
Good, but it's not
Bizarre.
it's not life changing. Yeah.
This is just a very confusing E6, and it's like, it's good. It's like, it's
It looks
pretty
right out
decent.
Yeah, it looks like a SU blessing. It's
Literally,
just an
that's
SU
what it
blessing.
feels like.
So
This
yeah.
is just so weird to see on a real character.
I think it can go with the rest of the support. It's an A tier.
I agree.
Like, it is still a noticeable
It's
increase
great,
in
but
his
once
amp,
again, not
but
life-changing.
know where to place him in there, honestly. I think maybe above Ruan Mei.
I'm
Not
about to
sure.
I'm about to make another tier that's just the support girlies at this point. I swear to God.
Yeah, they're all in the exact same
They're
place.
like
Oh, shit.
like in the nicest way possible. Everybody watching this video, look at this section. Don't take this to heart. It's just this broad section. They're all relatively next to each other. It's really
Yeah.
just what you want the most for your
Yeah.
account. Like, this has no real rhyme or reason at this point. This little section
Yeah.
right here specifically. Like, I'm fine with no longer
Yeah.
ordering that specific part. That part's difficult.
Yeah. They're all right around each other. Like,
Exactly.
They effectively, at least Ruan Mei's, Fugues, and Robin's all do very similar things, as in
Yep.
they make themselves a better DPS, but that's it.
All right. Man, that's... These supports, man. All right. The Herta.
This one's interesting.
E6.
It's weird.
All right, that's a res pen increase. When the number of enemy targets on the field is 3 or more, 2 or 1, ultimate's damage multiplier increases by 140, 254. Okay, so there's something I want to talk about briefly.
Yeah.
This is something that somebody suggested in a video that I had made. I wanted ways to kind of improve Star Rail, and then I was talking about how I don't like single target characters as a concept currently. Somebody brought up the idea of if they gave multipliers based on the amount of enemies on the field for single target characters. So, like, if there's 5 enemies on the field and you're using Fei Xiao, you should get some sort of boost that's, like, multiplied by 5.
I wonder what Anaxa does.
Yeah,
If you read his skill, he gains damage percent depending on the number of enemies on the field.
yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting that for this specific Eidolon, they essentially did that for the Herta. They made her from a great erudition into now, with her ultimate specifically, she can be a great single target attacker. I still don't think it's
mean, that's-
incredible,
yeah.
but it's definitely interesting.
It's better than a lot of the other Res Pen E6s, but not Firefly.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's
I
probably
want to
like...
say it's like right below Anaxa, funnily enough, I think.
Honestly, yeah, I agree with that. Topaz and Numby. Numby's attack count during the Windfall Bonanza state increases by 1, and its fire res pen increases by, wow, 10 only? That sucks.
It's very, very sad.
In a world where we got 20,
Yeah.
they just throw out 20s, getting a 10 is so disappointing.
This one, it's not... It feels very Blade-ish.
Yeah, it's kind of... I'm gonna be honest, it's kind
Yeah.
of mediocre for what I expected. It's not bad by any means, but
Yeah, I think
This is
she's gonna
far
go
from
right on
substantial.
Jade or Blade.
yeah, I'm fine with that. Again, I'm not super impressed. Alright, so next up is Tribbie.
Tribbie. This one's
Where is she?
interesting.
Alright. After Tribbie uses ultimate, launches her talent's follow-up attack against all enemies. The damage dealt by talent's follow-up attack increases by 729%.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Yeah, that seems about right. That's about what I expected.
Yep. I think it's an S.
Yep.
Just like...
It's like, it doesn't change anything about the character, it just makes her absolutely fucking bonkers. I'm kind of...
Yeah.
I feel like that's in the Fei Xiao area.
I feel like it's, below Bronya.
Yeah,
Because it
I
doesn't
agree.
really fix anything, per se.
But it's just
She just-
incredible.
So much better, yeah.
Alright, we're down to our last 3 here. So first up
Welt.
is Welt. Welt E6.
Yay.
When using skill, deals damage for 1 extra time to a random enemy. Jesus fucking Christ.
It's not bad, considering, if you already check how many times his skill hits, it's not a terrible
About to
thing.
say, I think it...
Because his skill only hits 3 times.
Yep, there we go.
So it's like...
So now
And
you
also,
get 4.
with his E4, it gives him...
Increases by
no,
30.
not his E4, his E2. With his E2, it's not bad. because it gives him extra energy and lets him get a 1-turn ult in some situations. So that's like, it's not bad.
And then
yeah.
Also with his
It's
E1, after you use his ultimate,
low,
that
though.
skill is going to have enhanced damage on it either way as well. So
Yeah.
it combines to
It's
be
like-
not bad.
I want to say it's C or B. I want to say it's C, honestly.
I'm going to give it C. I think it's still better than this section of shit at the end. So
Yeah.
I'm like, do we think it's better? Do we think it's worse or better than like Seele Silverwolf?
I think it's better than Seele's.
Okay.
Yeah, because it still does kind of complete him as a character. It makes him usable. For an
That's so
E6
sad.
is sad to say, but
That's so
it
sad.
makes him usable.
Actually tragic,
is
dude.
Something that Seele's doesn't change.
Not in the
honestly.
slightest. All right, I was not happy about Yanqing's earlier, so.
I don't even think we have to discuss this.
If the ultimate buffs are still in effect when an enemy is defeated, their duration is extended by 1 turn. For everybody who knows, Yanqing's ultimate buffs increases Yanqing's crit rate by 60. When Soul Steel Sync is active, increases Yanqing's crit damage by an extra 50%.
Yippee.
Yup. All right, so we're just gonna.
D.
I still think your part is worse, actually. Let's get into this last one. It is Yunli's E6. While parry is active, if an enemy actively uses their abilities, regardless of whether it attacks Yunli or not, it will trigger Intuit Call and remove the parry effect. When dealing damage via Intuit Slash or Intuit Call, increases crit rate by 15 and physical res pen by 20.
Like, I don't think she could have asked for anything more, honestly.
No, this is like genuinely really
yeah,
good.
It fixes her only problem, and it also gives her a noticeable damage increase. It might be S, or I think it's high A. I don't know.
Honestly, I'm willing to give it S just because it, like,
Yeah.
she's still technically a counter character, but the thing is, though, is that now you don't even need to rely on your counter actually going off. It'll just trigger, and you're still getting additional damage increases from it.
Yeah, as long as you time it correctly, you're
Mhm.
perfectly fine.
Honestly,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, it's not a high S by any means. Like, I'm going to put it at the bottom.
I don't know if it's going to... I think it's at the bottom.
It's
yeah.
definitely the bottom, but I think it's still deserving. It is still very good.
Okay, yeah.
And there we go, because we are not doing all the Trailblazers.
Do we want to place Maide somewhere now that we have everyone on the list?
I'm going to be so honest, I've actually kind of grown attached to the Mighty tier.
That's fair enough.
Sorry, that's the
Yeah.
that's it's the content brain. It's just like I see it there now, and I'm like, oh, I like it. It fits.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like Mighty is definitely, I feel like, deserving of the S tier, but just because of
It's
just
really hard
how
to
wonky
determine
that whole
where.
thing is, I'm fine with leaving him here.
Yeah.
Because also, this is still a high enough compliment to him, because he's still above all of A tier for sure.
Ordering any of the S tiers is weird because like
It's so hard.
they all do wildly different things.
It's so difficult. Again, at least we had a common theme with S tier that we stuck to, and it was a hilarious damage boost that's just like irreplaceable, or it fundamentally fixes or straight up changes your kit for the better. And I feel like we stuck to that pretty well. Yeah, no, honestly, I'm pretty content with this list. Like, this is pretty good. There's very few of these that I feel like people can reasonably complain about.
Yeah, I feel like the one that's gonna get complained about the most is probably Acheron, but
I feel like that one. I feel like that one.
Yeah.
The Robin one, we might get our heads taken off for, but I can live with that.
Yeah.
Again, it's really not like it's good. It's good. I'm taking other ones over it. Honestly, I think there's a world where we might get our head taken off for the Anexo one.
Oh yeah.
I feel like this one could be
like
really bad hindsight.
It could go a lot lower, but I think it could be justified to be where it is.
Again, I'm curious to see how this one is actually going to play out, like, later down the line with a bunch of players. I'm really curious to see how it's going to turn out. Because, again, we could just end up being, like, hilariously wrong. But I'm fine with leaving it there for now. Like, I don't want to try and
it's really hard to
future-proof
rate
this.
something that hasn't fully come out yet, so...
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no point in it, so I'm fine with this. Good list overall, so thank you very much for joining for this. It was a lot of fun. Really appreciated all the insight.
Yeah, I'm Emmy, so... Yep.
Oh yeah, we never
having me.
introduced you. That's
Yeah, I
that's
was never
100% my bad.
It's fine.
It completely slipped my mind.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'll put like a little. Whenever I make this video, I'm gonna put a little note at the start, like, hey,
Yeah.
just like the little "my name is." There we go. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, let me end the recording then, and.